What if I told you that a single industrial incident released 3,591 times more toxic gas than legally allowed? That's not a dystopian sci-fi plot. It happened last week in El Paso, Texas, right under the nose of Marathon Petroleum's refinery. And the most disturbing part: residents were told everything was fine, while hazardous chemicals equivalent to 4.4 tons of propylene were being pumped into their neighborhoods. Let's unpack why this isn't just a local disaster story, but a systemic failure that should alarm all of us. Now, I've followed environmental scandals for years, but this one's layers of deceit hit differently. Picture this: you in your home, suddenly hit by a sulfuric smell so strong it travels miles, and the company responsible. They are playing silent while local leaders scramble for basic facts. City Representative Josh Acevedo didn't just smell the fumes, he smelled a rat when Marathon's initial no-danger narrative collided with state reports showing illegal levels of sulfur dioxide and 1,3-butadiene. And here's the kicker: this wasn't an isolated mistake. The data shows a pattern of arrogant secrecy. Let's break down those numbers, because they are not just statistics, they are a smoking gun. Sulfur dioxide emissions were 3,591 times the legal limit. Read that again. That's not a minor overshoot, it's an industrial crime scene. And propylene? 8,897 pounds of it, enough to make an entire neighborhood's air unbreathable. But Marathon's response? Classic corporate deflection: we deployed monitoring, and no health risks detected. Meanwhile, Dr. Gabriel Abaramaia, an environmental expert, is bluntly stating what this exceeds every regulation on the books. So why the disconnect? In my opinion, this isn't about miscommunication, it's about power dynamics. Companies like Marathon operate on the assumption that communities lack the expertise or resources to challenge their narratives. A detail I find fascinating, and deeply troubling, is the timeline. Commissioner David Stout wasn't even informed for 2 hours after the incident began. When he finally got a call, it was vague reassurances while the toxins kept flowing. And here's the hypocrisy: Marathon's own report admits the situation wasn't resolved by Wednesday morning, even as they told officials it was handled. What this really suggests is a culture of calculated negligence. They knew they could delay, downplay, and hope the public wouldn't piece together the truth. And for years, that might have worked, except this time, leaders pushed back. But let's zoom out. This incident isn't about one refinery or one city. It's a case study in environmental injustice. Communities near industrial zones, often low-income or minority populations, face these risks daily. The bigger question is, how many other companies are playing Russian roulette with public health while hiding behind technical jargon and half-truths? The fact that Marathon's flaring continued for days afterward isn't an oops moment, it's evidence of systemic regulatory failure. If 862 pounds of sulfur dioxide is the tip of the iceberg, what's lurking beneath? So where do we go from here? Acevedo's demand for transparency is a start, but this needs to escalate. Independent air monitoring, stricter penalties for misinformation, and maybe even criminal liability for executives who knowingly endanger lives. Because here's the reality: when a company releases 4.4 tons of poison and then gaslights an entire city, we are not dealing with an accident, we are dealing with a choice. And that choice reflects a mindset that values profit over people. What do you think? Is this just one bad apple, or does it expose a rot in how we regulate industry altogether? Let me know in the comments, because this story's far from over.